Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Drew Brewer, and I'm here with Coach Danny Evans. How you doing, Coach?
Doing fine. Yeah, it's just a privilege to be here with you. You know, I'm really excited and just the opportunity, I just say thank you.
You're welcome, Coach. So, Coach, how long have you been coaching basketball?
Well, I know I don't look it, but about 30 years. I've been in women's basketball, college basketball for about 30 years. I also actually played over in Europe for 11 years, and I played at Oregon State University when I came out of high school from Flint, Michigan.
So you've had basketballs being running through you, coaching, playing, just all these different aspects when it comes to basketball.
Yes, sir. So that's been a long process, obviously, but to come here was a great, challenge because I hadn't been in basketball for a couple of years, and so to come back and get back in it has been, something to get going again. So that's right.
That's good. So going over the program for basketball, a couple of tough losses over the last season. How does you reflect on that?
Well, you always got to take. a loss and try and see what you can learn from it. And I think we matured until the end. We played well. We finished sixth place, but I think I'd say about 5 games kept us from being in second or competing for the championship. We just. I don't know whether it be, a missed ball here or there, boxing out, little things that could have been, we could change. And that's what we'll probably be doing in the off season, working on little things that we can prepare them for, next season and do a lot better. But that sixth place definitely is not something that we did, that we were looking forward to having. We wanted to be, a little bit higher than that. But we just had unfortunate little things happened, even at the end of the year. One of our players had an accident, and the post player, and so she wasn't able to play in the conference championships. So that was a big thing. That was a big adjustment for us because she's our post player inside, and then obviously Alabama State actually took advantage of that, I thought, in the last game.
Right. So, Coach, with that season, it still was, you played 6, wasn't such a bad season. Like you said, there was a couple of games that kind of got out of hand at one point. But going forward into that season, do you see how that can benefit the team, just remembrance of that last season to help them improve for the next season?
Yes, I think it's going to be huge because we actually only had 2 seniors this year, and they were both our point guards. And during this off season, we've been recruiting, a lot of point guards,
right.
So we can make sure we have enough for the next season. But I just think the maturity level, everybody's coming back from our team except for those 2 point guards. And so, if you look at our future, I mean, you would think, wow, it's bright. They went through, a lot of adversity during the year. Even with COVID, a few people out here and there. And you having to play over that and saying, hey, this person is not here today, next person up, and they're going to have to step in and, to a new role, maybe scoring or defense or whatever. I think they did that for the most part. And, when you have everyone from a team coming back, and they finished 6th, so you're looking to, advance on that for next season. And I think, the parity in the league was really, really big this year as well. So they had a lot of, adversity just to compete to get to that 6th place. I thought they did a great job.
So how is the recruiting process for women's basketball for trying to recruit new recruits here to PV?
Well, it's totally different this year because you have this transfer portal.
Right.
So now what you can do is like when I was playing, you couldn't just transfer to another school. You'd have to sit out a year and you'd have to wait to play at that university. But now you can actually come from university and say, hey, I want to try somewhere else. And you can leave that university and come here and then play right away. So then, so a lot of the Power 5 schools, they're losing some kids that maybe you could have tried to recruit earlier in their high school years, but they said, hey, they chose a Power 5 school, which is a bigger university. And now they're going into the portal. And so a lot of the universities, smaller, division schools are recruiting those kids. And now when they can come here, they can play right away. And so we're really, everybody's high on that. All the universities throughout the United States are all on that.
All right. Going into that, HBCUs in general have been getting a lot more attention and of the spotlight of players coming in to play. So How do you see that improving the HBCU and the SWAC?
Right. I think it's going to improve everyone. I think all the HBCUs, like I said, they're getting I think with Jackson State with the football, obviously that's got a little, a hype there, and everybody's starting to look at some more of the HBCUs as an option. And I think, just at Prairie View, just in general, I mean, if you come on our campus, you're going to see, like, you have the facilities, you have everything, and I think we have the coaching staff. And so, I think the future is just bright. And the conference as a whole, like I said, they're picking up kids. They're picking up kids from, like, USC, Penn State. They're transferring into our conference, and you generally wouldn't have an opportunity to see those kids in our league. And now with that, I think, if you're watching the men's NCAA tournament, you've seen St. Peter's.
You're right.
I mean, no way would they be, beating, Kentucky. They're knocking off Purdue. They're knocking off teams. And the reason why is because of that parity that's coming from that transfer portal. It's going to change college basketball.
Right. So as a former player and seeing the new, I guess, how basketball has transitioned and how it's been different. How is that? How do you see the transition of basketball now? Like, especially for women's basketball, where do you see that transition?
Well, I mean, like I said, the talent has really increased. I mean, you have kids that are, so much more talented than when I played, and you can see that also. I hate to keep bringing that up, but the transfer portal changes it now. Because now, if you're not playing at, say, Oregon State, you can say, okay, I can get in the transfer portal, I can transfer, and then I can play right away this next year. That's going to make parity. I mean, there's no way you're going to keep, everybody's going to be able to get those kids that maybe didn't have a chance to play at Alabama or, some SEC school. They're transferring out, and they're able to play right away. So you're going to have parity, I mean, throughout the country. Now, the one thing that you do have is some of the universities are able to give, like, a stipend, and they're able to do I forgot what you call it, but you can get say a major corporation can come in and give you funds for doing, like, spots on the radio or things like that, and they can pay you. Now, that's also changing everything. Because now the larger universities have, like, say, Ford is doing a commercial, they can bring you in and they can pay you now. So that's a huge thing to offer. You can offer somebody, hey, I can put you on a commercial and I can pay you. And that's okay. I mean, that's going to also change some things too as well. So.
All right. So with the new season coming in, I'm pretty sure you guys got some new signees, new people that's coming in to help bring the team back up to where it needs to be. So do you have any key contributor players now that you can see have to take that leadership role to help improve these things?
Oh, well, you have Diana Rosenthal. She was all conference this year. She played for us. I mean, she had some games of 29, 31, that kind of thing. And then you also have Kennedy Paul, who's a great shooter. Like I said, I think just the overall success of our team is going to be dependent upon them. Those two are very good. And then you also have, I think overall in general, just everybody's going to improve themselves for this next upcoming year. And during the off season, what we're going to do is called individuals. You're going to have individual workouts, and you're going to improve on the little things that they need to improve on to be successful for next year. And then I think when you get all that nucleus back together, I mean, I just think we're going to be one of the top teams in the conference. If not, then we didn't do our job.
Right.
So that would be it.
They say PV produces champions. We have that with all the other different sports like bowling, and just shows how the testament of PV really has come into the fruition and really shown brightness for everything.
Yes, definitely.
So what led you to come? I know we had spoke earlier before the show that you had coached at UAPB until 2017 and then took a break and then into teaching to where now you are now a coach for women's basketball with Coach Pugh. So how was that transition for you, and what made you come PV?
Well, back in 2002, 2003, I worked with Coach Pugh at Southern University, and I had been at Power 5 universities. I had been at University of Michigan, Minnesota, places like that. And when I came and worked with her, we won 2 championships in a row, 2002 and then 2003 at Southern University. And so she and I had a rapport that we had, at that time, and we had been just trying to see if it could come about again. But I was at UAPB, and I stayed there, and then I worked at an alternative school, high school, teaching math for a couple of years. and she's been on the phone we've been on the phone quite a bit, and she's been offering, come on, hey, coach, come on back in it, get back in it. And at that time, I just wasn't ready. I was just kind of, sitting back. But then when this year, one of her assistants had left like right before the season had started, and she had called me and said, Coach, I need you. I think we have a great team. Come and work with me again. And this time I actually answered the call and came back. And I think it's just been awesome. I think the one thing for me was that the players had started the season, the preseason, and I kind of came in the middle of that. And they gave me, they listened, and they took me in and allowed me to talk to them, as a coach that had been with them for a while. And they made me feel comfortable, which made, I think, for a good season. I think I had a good season with them. They respected me right off the bat, and I had no qualms about coming. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, they had me excited because they were so good. We really had a talented team. We just didn't live up to all the talent that we had. I thought we could have played a lot better. And obviously, a coach, you always want to be better than what you really show. But I thought that, overall they played hard, and they all the games. If you came to the games, you've seen that they played hard to the end.
Right.
They never just gave up and stopped playing. They never quit.
All right, that's what I have been to some of the games, and even some of the tough loss games, they gave their all out, they gave their heart, and that's a testament to you and Coach Pugh, just getting your players what they need to do.
Right.
So about the new signees that you have coming in, how do you feel about them?
Oh, we're really excited. I mean, you can't really mention them yet until we get the names on paper, but just the overall visits and everything, that when the parents come down, one of the parents just told me that, wow, Coach, I mean, we never had looked at an HBCU before, but just to come here and see the campus and everything, just like, wow, more students need to come down and just actually look at the facilities and look at what you have to offer. And they were they were just surprised. I think they were really surprised. And that made me feel really great, because when they left there, they was like, they had been to Purdue, USC, and some of the other Power 5 schools. And she said, wow, Coach, you blew it out the park. You guys just really presented a program that we really want to be involved in, and we just can't believe more students wouldn't want to come down here.
Right, and it's something like we had said before, the HBCUs are haven't been getting as much of the spotlight before as they are now. So just the transition of now people, and you've been coaching with Southern, you've been coaching with UAPB and now PV. So as that goes on, how do you feel about the HBCU presence now?
Well, you see that, I think for the students, they got to realize that, when they come to recruit people for positions or jobs after basketball, I mean, they're looking for, people like ourselves. They're looking for minority students to fill those positions. And I think that's one of the major things that you see here. I went to Oregon State University, and that you see that, it was 1% black, and so you see that when they come there, the corporations come there, they're looking for, your students with the high GPAs, and, they're not looking for a minority student like myself. And I see the experience or the difference from going to Oregon State and attending that university, and then now coming in, like UAPB and now here at Prairie View. I can see that that's one of the major differences. And then also the professors and the people that are in charge are more intent on making sure that you have something at the end of that. And I can just attest to that. At Oregon State, I've never been offered a job there. Nobody's ever called me back to say, hey, we have a position for you or something like that. And I think at Prairie View and these universities, they are reaching back out to you. They're going to reach out to you maybe a year or two from after you have graduated, and they're looking to put you into some positions. And I think that's just unbelievable. That's something that I didn't experience from Oregon State.
All right. Coach Danny Evans, thank you again for coming in today and just taking the time to have us talk with me and get more insight on your story as well as the women's basketball. And we hope that next season is even better. And we get it.
We got to have it better. Hey, I'm here to win. So, I want to hang that banner. We want to get those rings, get sized up. Hey, I just think we have the sky's the limit for our squad. And I think if everybody comes back healthy and, we get the additions that we're going to get from the portal, I think you're going to be something to watch. We're going to be a good team.
Okay. When we come back from commercial break, we'll speak with Aaliyah from Volleyball. You don't miss this, and we'll be right back.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Hello, and welcome back to Coach's Corner. I unfortunately made a mispronunciation with the name with Aaliyah, but this is Aaliyah Fields for Volleyball. How you doing, Aaliyah?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. So, how are you experienced? What is your experience here at PV? I know you said that you was a freshman coming into PV. How has your experience been so far?
So far, I feel like it's been pretty great. Getting to know people and coming down because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, so like now being in the South and like transitioning to especially the hot weather is really nice, actually.
There's some hot weather down here.
Yeah.
You used to it being cold and stuff like that and everything. So with you coming down to a HBCU, how is the HBCU experience for you so far as a freshman? You know, a lot of people don't know about HBCUs, so when we do come, it's like a culture shock for some of those that never really experienced it. So how's that going for you?
It's actually kind of different because growing up, I was in a very like diverse community, which is actually why I chose to come to an HBCU, just to like be more with like people like me and like be able to relate to more people. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a culture shock, but like I definitely like the difference in like actually having more relatable conversations than like I may have had in the past.
All right. So what position do you play in volleyball?
I'm a setter.
Okay, and what does a setter do?
So basically, we set the person up that hits the ball. So we're kind of like the quarterback of the team that most people like say. Like we run the court, we determine the plays, and like decide what we're going to do and what's next and stuff like that.
So how do rotations in volleyball work? Like, do you guys switch out on 5, or like how does that go?
Okay, so it's 6 positions on the court, and honestly, it depends. Like some people may play all around. Like usually, outside hitters play all the way around. Setter, like for us, our setters, we usually play back row. So I'll play like all 3 positions in the back row, and then I'll switch out for a hitter who will come in for me in the front row.
So it's kind of like jumping, hopping
Yeah.
back. Okay, I get that. That's cool. So what got you into volleyball? Like what motivates you to play volleyball?
My mom and my sister. So my mom, she actually went to Morgan State, so that's what kind of got me into HBCUs. And then my sister, she chose to play volleyball due to my mom. And then growing up, you know, little sisters love to be like their big sister, so I chose to do it as well.
So how was the surge in the second half of the season for the team? Like how did that go?
I feel like we had a really big come up actually, because from the start, we definitely didn't have as many wins as we hoped to have. But as time went on, we definitely started to recollect ourselves and like figure out what we needed to do and started to create more W's. So it was actually a lot better than I could have actually imagined.
Right. So going in with HBCUs and then the SWAC, you know, we added Bethune-Cookman as well as FAMU. So how do you feel about the expansion of HBCUs and the teams that have come into the SWAC?
It creates more competitiveness, so I like that because that's why I play. Like I don't want to just play easy teams and the same teams over and over again. And then I mean, FAM definitely gave us a run for our money in the SWAC tournament. I'll say that they're a really good team, and would definitely love to play them again and hopefully win the SWAC tournament this next season.
Just gotta be ready for that. You know, that's all it is. So how is your relationship with your coaches and your teammates?
I love my team. I feel like you never know what you're coming into, and I feel like they definitely had like brought us in with warm, welcoming arms, and they taught us like the ins and out of the team, and it wasn't like anything like you felt pressure or anything. Like they were definitely like, it's a family. Like you come in and you have a family.
Right. So coming in as a freshman, are there anybody that you see, any upperclassmen that you see are taking that leadership role into helping the team improve?
Jakarta Hope, that most people probably know as Boogie. Well, since we play the same position, I feel like coming in, I looked up to her, you know, just her teaching me like the different type of sets, what we do, how I should come in. And I feel like she was a great leader in like showing me those type of things.
So as the season went on, how do you see yourself as well as your team improving for coming into the next season?
Just going in with enthusiasm, knowing that it's going to take us working hard and practicing, and not just during this off season, like in the spring, but also in the summer, and like making sure that we're setting those high standards for the incoming freshmen or like even transfer students to know that like we have this goal and like for them to meet it as well, so that we can make that goal.
Right. So, you know, that's one of the good things about with sports. You know, we have a goal to be set and we go towards it to try to make sure that it is in fruition. You know, we try to make sure that this is what we're trying to do, and we need to make sure that everybody's on board. So do you feel that everybody is on board on the same page to try to win a championship next year?
I actually do. We had practice actually this morning, and we were talking about how far we've come from the beginning of the last season to now, and just knowing that it's going to take dedication, it's going to take hard work, and there are days where you're just like, wow, this is really tough. But knowing that at the end of the day, you're not just doing it for yourself, but your teammates and like your family and everybody who's helped you get to this point. So.
Right. So we talked about the competition with the new addies of FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. How is the competition, as well as besides FAMU and Bethune, like with other HBCUs, how do you see that competition going on?
Healthy competition. Everybody is going for the same goal. We all want to win the SWAC championship. We all want that ring. Right. Everybody wants the ring, so they all go hard. Regardless of looking at somebody's record, somebody could have lost every single game, but when they play you, they're going to play their hardest because they want to win too. And so I feel like you can never just go in with a mindset like, oh, this team isn't that good, or this team is just super, like, just really good and they're going to beat us, because at the end of the day, somebody may play lower than how you may have expected them to play, and you just have to go out there and win.
Right. So I know volleyball is one of also those other sports that not much people see or look at or watch, and that's unfortunate because that is also another sport that, you know, it doesn't get so much of the spotlight but does deserve the spotlight. So how do you feel that volleyball can be more expanded?
Well, I feel like it's definitely more of a predominantly white sport, and so being able to come to an HBCU and seeing all these black women play is just, I feel like, already showing people that like it's expanding a little bit more, and that just showing people like once you see somebody like you being able to do it, then other people are going to start to do it. So I feel like that alone is actually expanding the sport.
Right. So as a freshman here at PV, what is your major? Like, what are you trying to do with yourself?
So I'm a psychology major, and I want to go into marriage and family therapy. So I'm just like really into just couple counseling, and just I'm intrigued by love. So I feel like it's actually great just being on a team in general, because I'm already getting to know people and how they react to different things. So I feel like that'll actually help me with, you know, going into therapy.
Right, that was going to be my next question of how you use your major with psychology to be able to handle your teammates, you know, because I know that's different moods. You come from different backgrounds, you come from different areas. So a lot of times when teammates get together, you might not see eye to eye. So how do you see in ways that when there are moments where you might not get along with your teammate, but you got to still understand this is a team, like we got to win the game. So how does that go?
I feel like you just have to know in the moment, like some people may get upset in the moment or may get down, and like you just have to tell yourself like, okay, I want to win this game. What is it going to take to win this game? And I feel like if there's any problems, you can deal with that after the game's over. Like you don't want anything to get in the way of you guys actually winning the game. So I feel like with that being said, I don't feel like we ever take anything too personally while we're playing the game. And if anything is being said, we're close enough that we're able to like resolve it quickly afterwards.
Okay. So with volleyball, not much people know how the game starts or how the game goes around. So how does it go from like practicing to like how do you guys play? Like is it you might have 2 games a week or maybe 1 game a week? How does the volleyball go?
Okay, so during the regular season, we practice every day for about 2 hours, I believe, and then we may like work out, like have our conditioning and stuff, and then we usually have games 1 to 2 times a week, yeah. And then especially when SWAC play comes, like conference play, it's a lot more traveling, so we definitely have we'll go back to back, so we may have 2 or 3 games a week, so less practicing, and I think that's when everybody gets excited because all that hard work actually pays off.
So just traveling, how is that going for you and the teammates? Like, how's that experience being a student athlete? Not only having the academic side of taking that serious, but also traveling around the country just to go play these different schools. You're seeing different areas, you're seeing new people. Like, how does that go for you?
It shows your time management skills definitely because, you have to get your work done at the end of the day. And so being able to get your work done and travel, I feel like is a luxury. But I also played travel volleyball prior to coming into collegiate volleyball. So traveling the world isn't necessarily new to me. I did that before, but the long car rides, that's a hassle.
That's a challenge, that's on long car rides. You get just you and your girls just talking, and then I already know how that go.
Yeah.
So once again with volleyball, a lot of people. Do people still we're trying to get more people to come to the game? So how's that experience when you go out there to the game and you got the cheering fans? I know PV has some of the best fans in the world. Can't lie here at that. So how does that feel when you go out there and just get that energy?
It's great, honestly. Especially not just with our team, we have different cheers for the girls, especially when they serve, and so having the fans say those cheers as well and just make the gym really loud, I feel is very welcoming. You're just wow, we did all this and look at everybody else tagging along. So it feels really good.
All right. So how do you feel about Coach Tyler and how he has been with the team?
Coach Chacho, she's really great. She puts us in great positions. She'll let us know what's open, what's to do, what we can do, how we can improve. She's dedicated to her work, so I feel that alone being said, and having a coach that's like that is great because you always want somebody who is going to be there for you.
Right. And so far, she's been there for you, mentoring you, really giving you guys so outside of volleyball, how can you tell us about yourself?
I love to be with my friends. I love shopping. Actually, I'm a jokester. So when it comes to being on the team, I feel I'm the class clown per se. I just like having fun and just doing different things, just chilling, and just seeing where life takes me.
Oh, you gonna have some fun here at PV, most definitely. That's for sure. So just going in. So how do you, with your major, where do you see yourself after you're done with school? You got your 4 years here. How do you see yourself when you're done with PV, and where do you see yourself taking with volleyball?
Well, after graduating here for my undergrad, I would love to go into grad school because I want to go into clinical psychology. I have to go into that for marriage and family therapy. So definitely grad school. Not really sure where I would go yet. As for volleyball, if I don't have any extra years to play, I would love to just play recreational. I feel I'll never stop playing. And hopefully my kids eventually will want to play that as well.
Do you see yourself eventually maybe coaching volleyball?
Coaching, maybe not coaching, but definitely being the parent on the side that's very dedicated to making their kids the best. Yeah. All
right. Ms. Alea Fields, everybody, thank you so much for coming in and speaking with us and giving us more insight on volleyball as well as yourself. I hope you guys really do have a great season coming up, and I hope you practice hard and everything works out for you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that'll be it for today's episode of Coach's Corner. Remember to tune in every day at 3 p.m. Once again, I'm Drew Brewer, and I'm signing out.